Grace and peace. I'm Brian Mustard, the Baptist Campus Minister at Drexel University, and this is Peace and Power Bible Study, the peace of Jesus Christ to change your life, the power of the Holy Spirit to change the world. And we are looking at our series on workship, putting work back into worship and connecting our beliefs with our work. This is the second video of week 8, where we are discussing great work. What does it mean to do good work that is in connection with the Great Commission and the Great Commandment? This is the second video. In the first video, we brought up this idea from The Gospel Goes to Work by Dr. Stephen R. Graves about the baseline and the blue sky, and connecting to our series and connecting to the week 7 last week, how being work can be sinful and how sin affects work, and that good work needs to be not sinful. That is the baseline. We need to be able to love others, love ourselves, and love the creation in our work. That's the baseline. But there's this idea of a blue sky, this infinite amount of possibilities of how we do that. We need to be able to fulfill the Great Commandment and the Great Commission within our work, but how we fulfill that is we can do it creatively, and there are like infinite possibilities to it. So the Great Commandment and work is what we're going to look at in this video, how the Great Commandment gives us an idea of what we should do for our work. I mean, every part of a Christian's life is challenged by the basics of their faith. Every Christian's occupation must also come under the influence of their Christianity. You must work as a Christian should work. Now, an in-depth look at what it means to be a Christian is a grand topic, and that is outside of this endeavor to completely define that. But for the interest of time and with the hope of not being too cliche, I'm going to summarize the Christian faith by the Great Commandment: love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. And then the Great Commission: go and make disciples, teaching them, baptizing them, and to obey everything that Jesus commanded us. So those are the two key focus of this part of the series. Great work or good work for a Christian to do needs to in some way connect with the Great Commandment and the Great Commission. Looking at that, the Great Commandment, let's just read this together. Matthew 22:37 through 39. He said to him, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind. This is the greatest and most important commandment. The second is like it: love your neighbor as yourself. And we can see this, that we've been establishing this idea that good work is good for the worker, good for humanity, good for the community, good for creation. So we need to love God, we need to love humanity, and that includes ourselves, and that includes our community, our neighbors, and we need to love creation, because loving what God has made is a way to love God, the Maker himself. So it would be hard to destroy and damage community or to despise the creation and say that we love God as well. We love God through our work by taking care of the things God made, including ourselves, including others, and including the creation. Good work loves God by helping the worker thrive. Good work loves God by adding value to the creation. Good work loves God by serving the community. So these ideas is through our work, we can fulfill the Great Commandment. We can love God and love others by using our work. Work that makes us better. As we talked about last time, Matthew Crawford gets this idea that being a motorcycle repairman made him more patient. It developed him and allowed him to thrive in a way that was better than if he hadn't. Good work loves God by adding value to the creation. And we talked about this last time as well, where, minerals are natural resources. Good work pulls those minerals into gems and then adds meaning to them by making them jewelry and giving them to a person to signify love or commitment. That is how good work adds value to the creation. And good work also loves God by serving the community. We examine this idea about how much work goes into providing just a simple meal or a simple loaf of bread. Good work helps us love God, love humanity, and love the creation. Now, this is where the baseline in the blue sky comes in. Now, our work should not interfere with how well we love God and love others. That's the baseline. So our work shouldn't cause us problems in loving God or in loving others. If you have a job that hurts your love for God, you might need to get a new job. If you have a job that you find it's hard to love others through or hurts your ability to love others, you need to get a new job. That's the baseline. But this idea is there's a limitless potential or a blue sky for how well we can love God and love others through our work. The idea is that with our creativity, with our just ingenuity in our work, with our determination, with our amount of effort, our work provides an opportunity for us to love others. And it is actually limitless. Now, if you're a nurse, a Christian nurse, you need to be loving your patients. Now, there's some conversation about what that actually looks like on the job, and that's fine. I'll let nurses figure out what it means to serve their patients in a loving way. And the idea of figuring that out, how do I serve my patients in a loving way and get better and better as a Christian at serving them and loving them, is something that could be a lifelong endeavor for every Christian nurse. They could spend their lifetime getting at that blue sky, never actually finding the limits to what it means to love and serve others through their work of nursing. And every job can be that way. There's a bare minimum. We have to love God and love others through our work, and it can't limit that. But there's also this boundless idea that we could, with our creativity, with our ingenuity, with our just learning and our expertise, get better and better and better at loving others and loving God. So some questions to think about. If you actually have answers to this or stories, anecdotes that go along with them, drop them down in the comments section. But what are some jobs that might get in the way of you loving God, and why? What are some jobs that might help you love others or the creation? Have you ever had a job that seemed to interfere with your Christian walk? Describe the conflict. As you think about that, as you drop those in the chat, I'll just take this moment to remind you that there are two ways to join this conversation. We do this live Monday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then also via Zoom, and these weekly wrap-ups on YouTube and WordPress. Those links are in the description. And as always, I'm all over social media. Come find me there. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, WordPress, YouTube. Those links are in the description as well. Enjoyed having this conversation with you and hope to continue it real soon.